Liberals are the new radicals. I'm Brian Lilly with TheRebel.media. They used to say that New Democrats were liberals in a hurry. Now I'm wondering if liberals are New Democrats in a hurry. We all know that Justin Trudeau's Liberals ran to the left of the NDP in the last election. The election where Tom Mulcair promised balanced budgets and incremental spending, even calling for a reduction in small business taxes and warning against raising taxes on top earners if the NDP won. But Trudeau, he promised the opposite. Trudeau promised deficit spending, higher taxes, reckless spending, a very left-wing agenda. But I didn't realize how far left until I was thinking about the LEAP Manifesto a bit more. This, remember, is the manifesto that we've talked about, the one that came out during the last election, the manifesto that was too left-wing for the NDP, too radical for the NDP. And as I was thinking about this more, about this manifesto yesterday, I realized that much of it has actually been advocated by some of the top people in the Liberal Party and the Liberal government. When the radicals behind the LEAP Manifesto write this about energy policy, quote, "There is no longer an excuse for building new infrastructure projects that lock us into increased extraction decades into the future." Well, when the radicals at LEAP write that, they sound an awful lot like Jerry Butts, the top advisor to the Prime Minister, who called for a zero-carbon economy.
Truth be told, we don't think there ought to be a carbon-based energy industry by the middle of this century. That's our policy in Canada, and it's our policy all over the world. You can choose to fight this fight on locking us into a high-carbon economy for 5 decades. And I think that's a very reasonable perspective to take. In fact, it's one we do take. So we think that the oil sands have been expanded too rapidly without a serious plan for environmental remediation in the first place.
Butts, when he was head of the World Wildlife Fund, also signed on to a document calling for an end to infrastructure that would support the quote-unquote tar sands. Another signatory on that document was Marlo Reynolds, then the head of the Green Group, Pembina Institute, but now the Chief of Staff to Environment Minister Catherine McKenna. So is it that the LEAP Manifesto is not that radical, or that the Liberals are now that radical? Easy answer. The Liberals have become the new radicals. Trudeau's minister in charge of families and social development, Jean-Yves Duclos, he's talked about adopting 2 policies long championed by the left and included in the LEAP Manifesto: a national daycare program and a guaranteed annual income. A national daycare program is pushed by the left not because they want to make daycare more affordable for families or to help families that need it most. It's pushed by the left because running a national universal daycare program would create a giant bureaucracy. Something they love because they love more government jobs, and also because they want to unionize the workers the way they've done in Quebec. The Quebec model pushed by the left means increased costs, less choice for parents, but a big unionized workforce that can shut down, or at least threaten to shut down, the economy if the daycare workers don't get their way. And guess what? Despite promises, productivity, labor force participation, and wages all lower in Quebec. But the left still pushes on this demand. In the manifesto, now it's on the agenda of Duclos. Same with the guaranteed annual income, an idea that doesn't matter if you work full-time, part-time, or not at all, there's a guaranteed income the government will give you. It's not about helping those that can't look after themselves, something we could all agree on. This is about a social safety net being turned into a hammock, a nice cozy hammock for people to rest in. Like I said, I don't know anyone that disagrees helping people in need, especially the most vulnerable that cannot look after themselves. But this idea of a floor income, even for people that can work but won't, is a bad idea. One championed by the left, now embraced by the Trudeau Liberals. And again, the Liberals becoming the new radicals. I could go on. There are many Liberals who now oppose trade deals, just like the manifesto. I could point to Justin Trudeau campaigning against austerity, just like the manifesto, even though spending went up dramatically under Stephen Harper and the Conservatives. In fact, it went up in all but 1 year. But you get the point I'm making here. The Liberals have become the radicals. No longer are the New Democrats just Liberals in a hurry. Trudeau and company have departed from decades of Liberals being centrists, and they've instead become Liberals who are pushing socialism harder than the NDP has lately. And the scary part for Canada is that Trudeau and the Liberals, they're in charge for 4 more years.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of The Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.